What are you trying to do to me? What do you want? What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
Hi everyone. So I went a little nuts in the bookstore. I'm having a bit of an existential crisis. I don't even know who I am anymore. I literally bought 3 hardbacks. What's going on? I guess I'm in the mode of it's gonna be my birthday, so I can do what I want. And it didn't help that when I walked in, the very first book that I noticed on their table. Hi everyone, it's me. Welcome to a reading vlog. I haven't done a reading vlog in so long. It's been a while. It's been since Christmas. And I love myself a good reading vlog. And now that I have a week off, well, a week off from teaching classes anyway, I still have quite a bit of work. I'm going to read, and I'm going to bring you along with me on this reading journey. And I'm really excited because I've already started reading on an e-reader because it was the only thing I could get from my library, Crooked Seeds, which is starting out really strong. It's set in Cape Town. Our main character, Deirdre, is a bit of a curmudgeon, lost her leg when she was 18. I think she's in her 50s. And they're in the middle of a drought. And so far I'm trying to get my bearings. I don't really know what's going on in the story. We're getting to know people in the neighborhood. She's trying to buy cigarettes. She doesn't seem to have a lot of money. And yeah, I'm just starting to get to know the character. I literally am 15% into the book. It's a short book. It's only around 240 pages, I think. So I think it'll be a pretty quick read, and it's the only thing that I'm reading so far off of the Women's Prize long list. I am waiting for the Safe Keep because I've heard many good things about it, and I'm just trying to get a copy from my library. So when that comes in, I'll probably read it, but not for this vlog. We'll see. We might go visit the library, but I don't think I'll be reading it for this vlog. The other books that I really want to read for this vlog are The Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. I'm really excited to read this. There's so much craziness going on in the world that I think this will be very cathartic. I'm hoping it will be very cathartic. It's about 15-year-old Lauren Olamina, who is living in California in a gated community with her father, who's a priest, and her family. And meanwhile, the world is going to pieces around her. It's advanced destruction due to climate change and economic crisis and general chaos. So I'm really excited to read this one. A few years ago, I read Kindred by Octavia Butler and really enjoyed it. It was in my top 10 books for that year. I'm sure this is going to be genius. Excited for this one. And then the other 2 books that I'm going to start, I might not finish them in the reading vlog. I'm not sure I'm going to finish them in the week. One is for my, One is for my book club, and that's Gliff by Ali Smith. This I'm also excited to read. It's set in the near future, dystopian. We're following children as they try to survive in this world. Nola, don't bang my camera just because you want to be in the video. So I think it's very hopeful though, that's what I've heard, and so very excited to get started on this one. And then the last one is Pale Shadows, which I've spoken about already on my TBR, and also when I talked about the Carol Shields Prize long list. This is a Quebecois writer, so feeling really good about supporting a Quebecois writer. Translated, so it's by Dominique Fortier, translated by Rhonda Mullins, so translated from the French. And it's taken from the poems of Emily Dickinson, meant to be characters in her lives, so I'm guessing that it's biographical and historical as well as, I guess, fictional. And they take the poems, these 3 women from Emily Dickinson's life, her sister and her brother's mistress and her brother's wife, I think. They piece together these poems into a book. So I think there's going to be a big payoff for this one. So yes, very excited about the books. I don't know what I will take you in terms of activities, I don't know what we'll do together. I have a plan tomorrow. I'm very excited. My teacher friends and I, girlfriends and I, are going to the spa. So that will be really fun. I'm not sure if I'll be able to film in the spa. I will try. I've done it before. So very clandestine operation, but I've done it before. I have a dentist appointment, which is not exciting. I don't know if I'll take you to that. And I'm definitely going to go to my local bookstore and see which titles I can find from the International Booker Prize long list that I'm interested in. And yeah, I'm not sure what else we'll get up to that will be exciting. Guess we'll find out as the week rolls along. Thank you so much for joining me for my reading vlog. Thank you for being here. And yes, I'll check back with you very, very soon. Okay, hi. I'm doing a sort of a streeter, I guess they're called. I'm wearing sunglasses because even though it's a gray day, my eyes are really tired. What's happening? Oh, yes. Today is my first day of my break, and I have an appointment this morning downtown for a facial. Sounds very fancy, I know, but my skin gets really, really, really dry in the winter, so I try to take care of it. So I'm on the way to the metro because I'm heading to this appointment that I have this morning. And last night I started reading Gliff, and we're off to a roaring start. We have some kind of near future situation where we don't exactly know what's going on, but it seems like people have lost their human essence and are very robotic or sort of seem like they are, she describes it better than me. And we have a family. The mother has gone to work because the family needs money, and also because their aunt is ill, so the mother's gone to take care of the aunt in the city, and then their father takes them back to where they've been living, which is like a camper. No, they have a camper, and then the father takes them back to their cabin, which I guess is where they live, but there's red paint on the cabin. And then, so he decides they need to leave. And then we can see it's leading up already, like it's very few pages in. I think I'm 20 pages in, and we're leading up already to the kids being left by their dad to kind of fend for themselves. And we don't know what this red paint means. It's kind of ominous. So yeah, rockin' start to this one. I've got it with me to read on the metro. And I'm going to go to a bookstore in Old Montreal today in the hopes of finding some books from the International Booker. I don't think the chances are super high, but we will see what we can find. I'll try to film in this spa. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I don't even know. It's like a no phone situation, so I don't even know if I can take pictures. We'll find out. cow. So they really are very strict in there. There's no way that I could have filmed anything in there. There's just no way. They already had a bit of a hassle about a couple of different things. I will say that the services at Boda Boda are really, really nice. The facilities are really, really nice, but it's very strict. So like if you're planning to go and just, I don't know, you have to follow the rules is the situation. I will leave the information about Boda Boda in the description box. Anyone visiting Montreal who wants to check it out. Yeah, I'm all chilled out because I've been in there for a few hours. And it's great. I'm now, as you can see, I'm now in the old port of Montreal. And I'm going to grab something to eat because I did not eat there. I'm going to go to this really cute cafe called Olive and Vermondo. And then from there, I'm going to go to the bookstore. And that might be it for me today. So yeah, actually you can see right behind me, right there, that's where I was. It's actually a boat. It's a spa on a boat. And it's great. I've been going there for a long time, but I will say that it can get quite busy, especially in the summertime. Yeah, just wanted to show it to you from the side. Oh, and I wanted to also say I am using my phone. So if the audio is crap or the video is not as good as my video normally is, that's the reason why. My vlogging camera is currently, the battery for my vlogging camera is currently charging. I don't.
Still holding on. Let's not pretend anymore. Think what we had disappeared long ago. I can't take back what we once had. Lying awake, can't get out of my head. You say all your dreams are gone. Are we gonna let this go or keep holding on? Yeah, I have waited far too long, babe. I can't carry this weight anymore.
Okay, so that was great. Had a really nice grilled cheese sandwich there, and now I'm going to the bookstore. But yeah, I'm going to the bookstore, and then good news is that this bookstore is literally just up the street from Olive and Gourmand. So I've had a coffee, feeling good, feeling hopeful about getting the books that I'm looking for. Very hopeful. And then if you could see behind me, it goes all the way down to the water. But yeah, I'm really hopeful I'll find some books in here.
Yeah, yeah. Let's not pretend anymore. Think what we had disappeared long ago. I can't take back what we once had. Lying awake, can't get out of my head. You say all your dreams are gone. Are we gonna let this go or keep holding on? I have waited far too long, babe. I can't carry this weight anymore.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm in a car. I have to go to Costco. I still have responsibilities, even though I'm on break. And listen, that was mildly successful. I got 3 books, but they're all hardback. I don't know who I am. I'm having a little bit of an existential crisis at the moment, especially because on my TBR video, I was like, I'm not going to buy Sally Rooney's book for hardcover at the price it is. But I just got excited, and that's what happens to me when I get excited. And I'm reading Gliff in hardcover, and I'm really enjoying it. So here, it's hard to hold the phone camera. Here are the books that I got. The only one that I was, I'll just hold it this way. The only one that I was able to find that's from the International Booker long list was Under the Eye of the Big Bird by Hiromi Kawakami. This is another dystopian book. It's really my mood at the moment, so I'm pretty excited to read this one. And then they also had this one, which I just really want to read because I know I'm going to love it and everyone's reading it and I'm having FOMO. It's Nesting. And I was so surprised that they had it. I didn't think they would have Nesting, and I'm just really excited about it. Hopefully it doesn't come in on the library. Like, you know what? It's okay. If I buy a few hardcover books in my life, it's not the end of the world. And if I don't muck it up, I could gift it to someone else. And then when I walked in there, I just couldn't believe, well, I guess I could believe because I think I've seen it elsewhere, but I just had to buy this book. It was on my predictions list. Hello, Natasha Brown, Universality. I predicted this for the Women's Prize. It wasn't on the Women's Prize. It wasn't on the Carol Shields Prize, and I'm very annoyed. So I guess in protest, I'm going to read it. I had to buy it. So excited. They had Good Girl by Aria Aber, and they also had Nesting by Roshan O'Donnell, and I just bulked and I got it. I kind of, I want to be prepared to at least talk about one or two Women's Prize books because I think, well, I want to have something to say when I do the Plod with Gemma and Charlie, which I think I'm doing in a couple of weeks. So yeah, spoiler alert. No, spoiler, I'm going to be on the Plods. Maybe I can read Nesting by then. Anyway, don't know what's going on with me. I think it's just because it's my birthday week. And I'm like, treat yourself. Anyway, I'm going to sign off for today. I did read quite a bit of Gliff while I was in the spa. And these kids are left on their own. These two sisters, I think they're two sisters. It's a little weird because a lot of the characters we don't know their ages and we're just learning more about them. I'm about 50 pages in. Already it's really interesting. I've marked a whole bunch of different passages, so I'll update you on that probably tomorrow when I get a little further into it. And I've started Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower as well. It's really good. I didn't realize that the main character she's a hyper empath, which, wow, that's going to be really interesting. So yeah, so far it's really good. But she's already had to kill a dog. Sorry, spoiler alert. She's already had to kill a dog, which was a bit rough. So I can tell it's going to be a wild ride. I have to go to Costco. I still have to do life stuff. I don't think that's going to be very interesting for the vlog. So I will catch up with you guys tomorrow. I have to go to the dentist in the morning, which I'm not excited about. Pray for me. And my mouth might be frozen, but I will be checking in. Hello, I'm trying to get the glare out of the glasses. Maybe this angle is better. Let's move my camera. Hi everyone. I just wanted to come on and give you an update on my reading for the vlog. I'm having such a fun time with the books that I've chosen. I'm really enjoying it, and it's funny because it's been a while since I've kind of been a bit slumpy in my reading. I just haven't been super excited about the books that I've been reading, so this is such a nice change. I'm so happy about it. So I'm going to start with Crooked Seed, which I took out of my library on ebook. So I'm actually reading it on my computer, which is the first time that I've done that. And I think it's great. I am going to try to take out more books from my library this way. I know maybe I'm a little bit late to the scene with this, but I'm really, really enjoying it. So the main character in Crooked Seeds is this woman, Deirdre. She's in her 50s and she lost her leg. I think I already mentioned this, in an explosion. So this is quite a short book, as I said, and the author is revealing a bit more about how this happened to Deirdre as I've been reading on. And I really like the way she's balancing the telling of the current day story with revealing parts of Deirdre's past. Because Deirdre is this really unhappy character, and we're starting to understand a little bit about why she is the way that she is. She and her family were removed from their property because the property was retaken by the government, so repossessed by the government, and it's been flattened, and they have discovered the bones of 3 bodies. And so in this apartment building where she's been living, the police come and knock on her door. They take her to the site of her old house, which is a little bit of a sort of a strange choice, but I think the choice is made. So sometimes my dog cries. What are you crying about? He cries because he destroys his toys and then he doesn't know where his toys are, and so he cries about it. Anyway, please stop crying, bud. Okay, where was I? So they take her to the site of her home where she grew up, which has been demolished, and the terrain is really rugged, and she refused to get a prosthetic. We find out that she refused a prosthetic. She's using crutches, and it's really hard for her to walk easily on this terrain, and she kind of has a bit of a meltdown about it. And she says, like, have you brought me here to make me feel ashamed? So she's obviously reliving some trauma from her past, and then we hear about the incident that she's sort of reliving. So I thought that was really well done. Then the police begin to ask her about her brother, a man named Ross, who we know from just a very small chapter in between, which was written from the perspective of Deirdre's mother, Trudy, who is in a nursing home and has dementia, and Ross goes to visit Trudy in the nursing home. So we know that Deirdre is estranged from her mother and potentially her brother as well. But when the police inquire about her brother and what potentially maybe he has to do with these bodies because he was involved with an anti-apartheid terrorist group in the 1990s, she defends him. So that's kind of where we are in that story. And yeah, I'm really engrossed. The whole subplot of the drought in the city is so near future like that it's quite disturbing, concerning. All of these books are really, you have to be in the right frame of mind to read them because they're very near future, dystopian, but not so dystopian potentially in terms of where we're heading. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. Glad that I decided to read it for this vlog. The other book that I am having a lot of fun with is Gliff by Ali Smith. This is my first time reading Ali Smith, and can I just mention that she is such a good writer. I don't know why I was asleep on her for so long. I will definitely, I think, seek out other of her books because I didn't realize what a great writer she is. And I've actually been tabbing places in this one because one of the interesting topics or themes in this book is about what happens to humans when they become more, well, subhuman, I guess, because some of the humans are more human than others or have more human quality than others, depending on, like, we don't have a clear idea yet of how AI has altered these individual people, but we know that they have. And I've just been marking the places where there are descriptions of that. I'll just read you this first one, like really in the beginning of the story. So she's talking about some people who are working in the hotel where her mom is working, and the people who are in the hotel, she's looking at them through the glass. So she says, I saw a table with what looked like a family at it. A woman, the mother presumably elegant, raising her fork. It had a piece of something on it, and she put it to her mouth rather than in her mouth, as if she were automatic. Then her arm and hand put it back down on the plate and then raised it again. Next to her, a boy, elegant, stirring indifferently at what was on his plate and staring into space. Then the man, the father maybe, rotund but elegant, she's using the word elegant to describe these people in each description, dressed as if at an award ceremony off TV and scrolling a phone instead of eating. Then a girl, I couldn't see what she was doing, but she was elegant, even though she had her back to me. It was like they all had their backs to me, even the ones facing me. Their disconnect was what elegant meant. She goes on to write, like something vital had been withdrawn from them for its own protection, maybe surgically, the withdrawal of the too much life from people who could afford it. By people masked and smelling of cleanness, inserting a cannula in a clinic, its reassuring medical smell, one after the other, the perfect family offering their arm. But then where did it go? What did the surgeon do with the carefully removed life serum? How could you protect it? Wherever you stored it from everything. The disastrous heat, the gutter dirt, the pollution, the things that changed, the terrible leave takings and journeying. They were so still, so stilled. Was that what endurance was? Is it still life? I'd said out loud as we passed. Okay, so that just like blew my mind, like it blew the roof off of my mind. The story itself, in terms of the plot, is about these two children who have in fact been left by their father. The premise is that the father is going to come back, and I don't know if he's going off to find more food or going off to find help, and he leaves them at a house, and the children are there in this house, and they've been left with tins of food, a certain amount of tins of food. So the implication is that their father Leaf is coming back. But I'm at a point now where someone is in the house because they had a set of keys and the keys went missing and the back door is open. So they're worried that someone's in the house. And they've also encountered someone working for the government who is driving this machine that is spreading the red paint around people's dwellings. And there's a big section on that as well, which I thought was really interesting that I marked. But I won't read all of the different sections from this book because it would take too long in the vlog, but I am loving this one, and I'm sure I'm going to finish it really quickly because it's just so compelling. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on it. We'll see what happens with these two kids and if they lose their life essence, or if people with life essence win out. Like, this is a recurring theme in these stories, not so much maybe in Crooked Seeds, but definitely for the two dystopian books that I'm reading, because the other dystopian book that I'm reading is Parable of the Sower. And our main character, Lauren, actually is a hyper empath, so she feels other beings' pain, which must be like really difficult, although she seems like a very, very strong character. So far, the structure of the book is like diary entries from her. So for example, March 15th, 2025, I thought that was really interesting. At the beginning of this entry, she writes, "It's official. Now we have a regular neighborhood watch, a roster of people from every household who are over 18, good with guns, their own and others, and considered responsible by my father and by the people who have already been patrolling the neighborhood." So what's been set up from the beginning of this book is a difference between her and her father. She has an idea about how to survive in this environment, and her idea is to escape this gated community and go somewhere freer. And actually Canada, going north, is referred to, and they said, oh, you know, you can't cross into Canada because if you try to cross the border into Canada, you'll get shot. They shoot everyone who tries to get into Canada. I thought that was really funny. But she has a difference of opinion from her father. Her father believes they need to stay and fight anyone who comes into their community and steals from them, because that's what's been happening. And her idea is to pack like a safety kit and keep moving in order to survive and to really reforest or repopulate the or to rejuvenate the climate. So she has this theory, which is called Earth Seed, which she is now developing, and it comes to her when she's gardening in the garden. And it's just the part where I am at in the book, actually. So it's the beginning of chapter 7. They're all God's seed, but no more or less so than any other aspects of the universe. God's seed is all there is, all that changes. Earth seed is all that spreads, earth life to new earths. The universe is God's seed. Only we are earth seed. And the destiny of Earthseed is to take root among the stars. So she goes on to say, sometimes naming a thing, giving it a name, or discovering its name helps one to begin to understand it. Knowing the name of a thing and knowing what that thing is for gives me even more of a handle on it. The particular God is change belief system that seems right to me will be called Earthseed. I've tried to name it before. Failing that, I've tried to leave it unnamed. Neither effort has made me comfortable. Name plus purpose equals focus for me. Well, today I found the name. Found it while I was weeding the back garden and thinking about the way plants seed themselves, wind-born, animal-born, water-born, far from their parent plants. They have no ability at all to travel great distances under their own power, and yet they do travel. Even they don't have to just sit in one place and wait to be wiped out. So I think we're getting set up for her eventual escape from the community that her father runs, and I think it's going to involve probably maybe a major conflict with her father. I'm not sure, but it's really good so far, and shockingly, like, it's not exactly what's happening right now, but it feels dangerously close to some things that we've seen in society over the last decade. Apologies for the light. It seems to be coming and going. So that is an update on the 3 books. I haven't started Pale Shadows yet. I think I'm going to wait until I finish Gliff or Crooked Seeds before I start Pale Shadows, just because I think more than 3 books going at the same time, plus my books of Jacob read and my buddy read, is enough. I am supposed to meet my friend today. I don't know what we're going to get up to, but I'm going to take you along. I went to the dentist yesterday. I decided not to vlog that because it just wasn't fun. But it's done. The teeth are all cleaned. It's done. Feel very accomplished for having been to the dentist. We'll see what we do. I want to see what's going on in Montreal, if there's anything fun to do. We talked about maybe going to a movie, which wouldn't be very fun to vlog, but I'm not sure. I have to decide what we're doing. But I will definitely take you along with me and hopefully do some more reading throughout the day and tomorrow. And yeah, I'm so excited about these books. They're so good. I'm so excited about discovering Ellie Smith. How wonderful. Okay, check in with you soon. Bye. Hello, it's me. I'm downtown and I'm on my way. It's noisy. I'm on my way to meet my friend and we are going to this bar. It's called Bar George and it's very popular and I'm really excited to go. And we're gonna go and see the film I'm Still Here. So I'm not sure how much vlogging I'll be able to do. I'll maybe do a little bit. I have been obsessively reading Parable of the Sower because it's blowing my mind. I can't really talk too much about the plot without giving anything away, so that's a bummer. But I did mark a couple of passages and I will update the reading probably tomorrow. But yeah, I'm completely obsessed with Octavia Butler. I loved Kindred, but I think Parable of the Sower might be a new favorite. So that is really exciting. It's so good. So yes, I'll be raving about it for the remainder of the vlog, I'm sure. And none of the plot points that I suggested in my last clip are happening. The plot is going a different way than expected, which I just love. Anyway, it's so smart. It's so well done. So yes, let's go meet up with my friend. Oh, you guys, I forgot to show you my tote. I'm going to show you my tote. This was so kindly sent to me. Check this out. Obsessed. Obsessed. I'm actually at the bulk barn. I don't know if anyone else does this, but when I am going to the movies, I go to the bulk barn and I stock up. So before I go meet my friend, I'm just gonna stock up on some snacks. There's a weird French radio on in here, but yeah, I'm gonna stock up on some snacks. There's a big lineup at the cash, but hopefully I get out of here in time to not be late for my friend.
Think I
out and people are having so much fun with it here in Montreal. Everyone is excited. We have a longer day of sun. The sun sets at 7 p.m., y'all. 7 p.m. Wow. I just came from my roller skating class. And man, I learned a lot, but was it ever a challenging class, I must say. And yeah, I had a great time, and I just want to thank Marley, who is the teacher. The classes are run by her exclusively, and her information can be found at Skate with Marley if you happen to be in Montreal. I'll leave everything linked in the description box below. The classes have been fantastic. I've learned so much. I can't even believe what I can do on skates in just a very short amount of time. Like, I just started in the fall. So, but that means it's Saturday, and that means that I have to go back to work on Monday. My March break week flew by. I don't know what happened. I finished Parable of the Sower, and I'm very excited to talk about it, but I think I'm going to wait until I get home to do that when I have the book in hand. I'm about halfway through Gliff, also loving it, and halfway through Crooked Seeds, which I'm also enjoying. I think it's really well written and very interesting. And I started Pale Shadows. So I have a reading update to give you, and then I will probably end the vlog. But on my way home, I got a call from one of the local independent bookstores saying that a book that I'd asked for has arrived. It's one of the International Booker Prize books. So I'm going to take you with me to pick that up. We're going to go do that now, and then I will give you a reading update. So yeah, let's go pick up my book.
I just wanna go out and walk with you. Baby, you know I just like to talk with you. You don't have to tell me anything that's new. I just wanna go out and walk with you. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine, sailing over pavement with our two arms. I like to see the shape you're in from time to time. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine. I just wanna see the same things you can see, understand the meaning on a new degree. Maybe that could happen when you're next to me. I just wanna see the same things you can see.
Hello, I'm home. Yes, I've arrived home. Very exciting trip to the bookstore. I got, oh, hang on a second. Oh, where am I? Oh. Very exciting trip to the bookstore. I think green seems to be the color of the moment for covers, this kind of spring green. So I picked up Reservoir Bitches, and I picked up On the Calculation of Volume 1. I've talked about these in my TBR, so I'm not going to talk about them too much more right now. I fear this video will be too long if I do. Also matches with the green cover for Gliff. I put the what's it called? I put the paper jacket back on. Look how pretty they all are together. I am about halfway through Gliff, and I'm realizing that I think I need to read Brave New World, because I think that she takes the premise of Brave New World and then expands on it in her story. So I don't know very much about Brave New World. I think it's about a futuristic world where society and people are engineered and they're supposed to be happier as a result, and they don't think freely, so they don't think for themselves. And the people who aren't engineered, who do think for themselves, are miserable. That's all I know about it. I read a brief summary, and I think I read it maybe in high school, but I don't really remember reading it in high school. So I think I'm gonna read it because of this book. And this, as I said, I think it might be a prequel to another book that might be coming out. But anyway, regardless, this is so good. I would have liked to have finished it for the vlog. So I'm, yeah, thoroughly enjoying this. I have obviously marked up quite a bit. I don't know how much more I should tell you because I don't want to have any spoilers for the book, but I will say that the two children, the older children, well, their names are Briar and Rose, and they've been named after that song or sonnet by their mom. They're now meeting some people in the community around this house where their father, who we find out is their stepfather, has left them. And in particular, they notice that there's a field with horses behind this house, and they meet a couple of boys. One of them is quite nasty. They also seemingly adopt a horse, which the younger one, Rose, names Gliff. So that's where the title comes from, also the name of the horse and also the meaning of the word, which I think I'd said before is a Scottish word meaning a transient moment, a shock, a faint glimpse. And the other thing that's happened is that they've met this older woman, I think her name is Una, and at one point Briar went behind this wall, had a big sign on it saying he wasn't supposed to, or actually I think Briar is maybe non-binary. We don't know Briar's gender. And so Briar goes behind this wall, and behind this wall is this archaic looking building, which is a former school. And what they learn when they start to forge this relationship with this woman, Una, well, there's just so much that I could talk about. I don't think I should talk too much more about the plot. There's one reference to this famous painting of a tiger over a horse, and there's obviously a lot of meaning to that, and I did mark that. Okay, so actually the woman that Rose meets is Uliana, but then Briar meets another woman named Una, and there is this school behind this wall where there is a sense of community and people are gathering. Anyway, so I'll just read you this section. I have to read you this whole section. It's gonna be, this is why my vlogs are always so long. I don't know if this is in the past. The other thing is that Briar keeps looking back into, we know that Briar is somewhere in the future looking back on this period of time, because there's twice now in the book where Briar is in a different setting and is thinking past on everything that happened with his sister Rose at this point in time. So we're going to find out what happened to Rose, because something clearly has happened to Rose. We were looking up at a picture, black and white and gray and huge, hanging on the wall high above the hall's stage. Beneath it, generations of young people would have said their prayers, done their exams, sung their school songs. The picture was of a white horse in front of a cave. The horse was reversing so fast away from something frightful. It had seen that its mane and tail were flowing unnaturally forward, almost horizontal, like a freak wind was blowing them. Beyond it, emerging from the dark, a lion. We were standing with Juliana Youssef, one of the people who lived in this building. She was, I know now, I didn't know then, already a renowned philosopher and art historian, one who'd not long before been made stateless. Then I knew her and will always remember her as what she was to us, a homeless person being kind to two very young homeless people. Oh yes, so they fall into this category of people called the unverifiables. And the school that's behind this wall where people are gathering are all unverifiable. So they've fallen through the cracks of this system. We were standing on either side of her, and she was telling us about the English artist famous for painting and drawing beautiful horses. He did many other pictures, all very like this one too, she said, of a horse in a state of shock and fear when it sees a lion, and of a horse literally in the process of being attacked and mauled to death by a lion. These pictures became famous as versions of the sublime, she said. More like the opposite of sublime, my sister said. Not sublime the adjective, Juliana said, sublime the noun. But sublime means like best thing ever, my sister said. When you add a the, Juliana said, to turn sublime into the sublime, it means you are seeing or experiencing something so shockingly awe-inspiring that your thoughts are raised to a spiritual plane of understanding, closer to an understanding of God or the God. And then she goes on to say, it's meant to be an allegory for accepting your own defeat as inevitable and accepting it gracefully, though really it's an allegory for how you're meant to give in to the might of the empire. So yes, I thought that was very interesting. This whole idea that you should accept that you are powerless is a state that you would want to be in, I guess. The whole idea that you would want to obey, and that obeying is a state that you would choose, which is, I think, also the premise of Brave New World. I'm having so much fun with this. I wish I was a little further along for the vlog, but it is what it is. I did manage to finish another book, and I am reading 2 other books, and I am reading the books of Jacob for my read-along, so it just is what it is. I really quickly just want to talk about Pale Shadows because I've started it, and I have to say, you know when you start a book and you're happy because from the beginning the writing is good and you feel like this book is good from the beginning. So this is definitely historical fiction. The book begins at the point when Emily Dickinson dies, and we start at her funeral with her sister Lavinia grieving her sister's death and also taking the time to go through her personal items, and she comes across letters which Emily very clearly said she had wanted to be burned, but she also comes across poems, and she decides, along with her brother's wife, Susan Gilbert, that they should go ahead and try to publish Emily Dickinson's poems. And it's really interesting because there's a whole section about if this is the right decision, and it is, of course, compared to the decision made by Max Brod to publish Kafka's works, and also the decision by Otto Frank to publish his daughter's diary. So it's quite good so far. I'm learning a bit about that time, learning a little bit about Amherst, Massachusetts, which is where Emily Dickinson and the Dickinson family lived. This guy wants to be in the vlog. And yes, I'm really enjoying it. It's translated from the French, but it seems to be very nicely translated, and yeah, it's lovely. Okay, bud. Oh, the other person that we're getting to know is Mabel. Emily's brother Austin is married to a woman named Susan, but he has an affair with this woman named Mabel, and they have a child, and we're learning a bit more about Mabel as well, and I think she's going to play an important role in the story. But yes, this was on the Carol Shields long list, and I'm really happy I picked it up. I think it's going to be a lovely read, and it is a nice reprieve from the dystopian worlds that I've been losing myself in. This is really nice to take a little walk back in time to maybe a simpler time, perhaps. So that's Pale Shadows, and I have read more of Crooked Seeds as well. I'm about halfway through Crooked Seeds. It's also very good. One thing I will say is that we are learning a lot more about Deirdre, our main character, and she is very, like, she really doesn't take care of herself. So I'm at a point in the story where she has been returned to her apartment complex, but there's another woman living in the apartment complex, and she goes to see her and sees her apartment, and her apartment is just a disaster. It's disgusting, and she insists that Deirdre needs to clean herself up. We also have revisited Trudy in the nursing home and Ross, Deirdre's brother, and we've learned a little bit more about their past and other people in the family. And we're learning that the family has secrets. The fabric of certain family members' character is different from how it's presented to other members of the family and publicly. So, for example, she has an uncle who served in the military, and the mother really talks this uncle up as having been like a pillar of strength and courage and with the best character, and actually he's not. He has a very different story. So I think it's interesting. It's going to explore this idea of different people's character and how they present themselves, or how they're esteemed in families, and who's esteemed in families and who isn't. And I do think that Deirdre is someone who had to face a lot of challenges, particularly because of this explosion where she lost her leg, but she also raised her daughter, I think, by herself. So we're finding out more about this character and a little bit more about bones that have been found underneath the family home. I think that mystery is going to slowly be revealed. So I'm looking forward to finishing that one as well. And I finished Parable of the Sower. This was a ride. I couldn't really put this book down, I have to say. It was so good. The main character, Lavinia, is so interesting and strong, and it's such a feminist novel, really, truly, because she is establishing essentially like a church or a theology, and she's writing it all down. Like, she's keeping an account of her thoughts, and she's basically come up with like a new way of thinking about God. So there's a lot of talk about God. It really is a theology. It really is, to her, God is the same as change, or God represents change and movement. It's very similar to ideas that are explored in Buddhism, but it's really interesting that she is trying to establish a community around a thought system. If you don't want to hear any spoilers, kind of, this is maybe the point to stop. And I won't reveal everything that happens in the book, but basically in their gated community, they are just not able to protect themselves from the thieves who come to steal from them and are very violent. And there are a series of different events where ultimately Lavinia loses everyone and everything, and she ends up leaving, trying to head north. She ends up along the way accumulating not so much followers, but she joins with other travelers and convinces them that forming a community and finding a way to work together to rebuild something out of the rubble of what is the world that they are now faced with is the only way forward. So it's a very hopeful book from that perspective. It's just a bit shocking how many of the circumstances that are described in the world as it is in this, what would have been a futuristic science fiction novel, feel very like possible and probable and very close. So things like water being in short supply, having politicians who are like, there are certain structures of government that are still in place, but there is also a society that is very Wild West. There are a lot of guns, there's a lot of violence, there are people who are addicted to a drug that makes them obsessed with fire, so they're constantly setting fires. Very violent world, and resources are very scarce. Yeah, it's also a coming of age story, of course, because Lavinia starts out 15 years old, living with her family, her father and her stepmother, and I think she has like 4 brothers or stepbrothers. She, by the end of the novel, is a woman, and there's a love story as well. So it has a lot of different dimensions to it. I really enjoyed it. I really love the character of Lavinia. She is very inspiring. Someone who is really brave, has a lot of empathy, but has also a lot of courage. And yeah, it's a really feminist book. Really love this one. Really would recommend it. Yeah, I just want to thank you all for coming along with me on this
reading vlog and hanging out with me on my break week. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye for now. Okay. Got the glare out. Oh, the sun is like in my face. This is the best I'm gonna be able to do. If I push this chair. It's definitely glare. Do I wear my... Okay, so do I wear my glasses? Do I wear my sunglasses? The sun is out. Look at the glare. The sun is out and people are... Sorry for the siren. Okay, that's better. I don't know why I was zoomed in. So, to actually cut my bangs today because they're so long. They're really in my eyes.
We've just heard from we've just sort of gotten our oh, it is going crazy.